And are we there? There we are. All right. Good evenings. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I hope everybody is doing well. Here we are. It is Sunday. It's 9/11. Interesting. We may talk about that later in the stream. I don't know. Most likely we will a little bit. But, you know, we have plenty of other things to discuss this evening. So we will get into those first. Trying to see if we can get this lighting a little bit better. All right, that's a little better. All right, so we had a rainy day here at the homestead today. Pretty much has rained all day long. So it happens. What are you going to do? Audio way too low, cannot hear you. Can everybody else hear me okay? Because I'm just trying to see if it's on my end or if it is on the other end, on their computer. Everybody else can hear me okay? All right. 5 by 5. You're fine. All right. Well, must be on your end then. I apologize if that happens. But anyway, let me just see if I got here what. I guess it's all right. I don't know. Oh, you're all wet. No. They were just outside. So Hella is coming to greet me. Yes, I know, but you're all wet. I don't want you climbing on me. So, all right. So anyway, before we jump into this video, guys, I want to remind everybody that we are a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to be decent in the chat with each other, and no racism, no nastiness. And okay, anybody saying go Bucks, you got to leave. You have to leave right now. No, I'm only kidding. Big game coming up. Opening of football. Bills took care of their business. They looked actually very good, and so hopefully my Cowboys can take care of their business this evening. So. Uh, Mars Marsons. Hey Ed, I've been following you for a very long time. Love your channel. Hello from the Bay of Islands in Newfoundland, Canada. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'm glad you're here. So, all right. No, when it comes to sports, it's fun. See, what you what, so before we get into everything else, I'm going to mention this. When it comes to sports, I'm a sports fan. Okay, so like a lot of people, I'll give you an example. A lot of people hate Tom Brady. Okay, because Tom Brady's the man. He's never been on my team, but he is the man. So what are you going to do? You respect a player like that because they're that good. You know what I mean? So but but no, I love. I've been a diehard Cowboy fan since I was 9 years old. I've been a diehard Yankee fan for about the same time. So those are my two favorite sports, and I love my teams, and I will always follow them and support them if they're good or if they suck. So that's just kind of how that goes. But anyway, but I love a good contest, and so me and my I was talking with one of my buddies today that we were talking about the game tonight, and he said, "So what do you think?" And I said, "Man, I'd love to say that the Cowboys are going to take care of business." I go, "But you can never count out Tom Brady." So because Tom Brady is Tom Brady. So, but anyway, all right. Where do we go from here? Right. So what we want to talk about? What do we got? 301 in the chat. We're 107 on the thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up, I'm going to ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. And I really do appreciate that. I have to mention this really quickly just because I find it amusing. So, as you guys know, if somebody acts like a tool on this channel, they get blocked, their comments get removed, and they're no longer part of this. I mean, it's just the way it is, right? I have some people that are so dedicated to hating me that they shoot me emails to tell me what a horrible human being I am, and I just find that funny. This is why your channel sucks. This is why your viewership is down and all that type of stuff. But yet, they're still watching. Isn't that amazing? I think that is I think that is interesting. So, but for all of you that were taking the time to write me to my email, I appreciate it because I find it quite amusing. So I do have to mention the one part of a comment. Okay, so the person, whoever this person was, and I don't even remember because it's already been deleted and it's dismissed out of my mind. But they said there's a big difference between a CNA and an RN, you moron. Really? God, I didn't know that. I'm so happy that they were able to enlighten me that there's a big difference between being a CNA and an RN. It's unbelievable. Thank you, whoever you were that wrote that letter. I really appreciate it. Because, being in the nursing field for 30 years, I did not realize that. Gosh, wow. I just see you get people educate you, and it's just so awesome. Just you have to laugh. You have to laugh honestly because it is so sad that they would take see life is so precious and life is such an awesome experience if you let it be, okay, that you would take and waste your time to be hateful to somebody else on purpose. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But anyway, all right. So anyhow, send laughing faces back at them. Yeah, that's funny. Like I said, I will tell you guys, and I've said this before. There are certain channels on YouTube that I don't like. I don't care for them. I don't like the person doing them or whatever the case may be. Okay. Um, I don't watch their channel. I don't go on their channel because I hate them or I don't hate anybody. I just dislike certain, channels. I don't go on their channel and I don't bash them. I don't do any of that. To me, that's just so counterproductive. I mean, I have better things to do with my time. So if I'm watching a channel and I don't like it, I'm not going to watch it. It's as simple as that. And so I'm going to continue on with my life and try to be happy and that type of stuff. So, but yeah, it's just I find it amusing. So, all right, so let's get into this. I'm sorry, and I have a tendency to get off the rails just a touch, but I'm good. Uh, so this next weekend, anybody that knows is when my group gets together, and we're gonna have a good time. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna have a really good time. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. We got some new members coming in, which is going to be very very cool. And we're making our plans and taking care of our business down there. And it's going to be very very it's going to be fun. And the forecast for next weekend is awesome. Right now, I was looking ahead, and the forecast looks like we're going to have a great weekend. So I'm really really looking forward to that. Uh, But all right, so because if we had this weekend here that just happened would have normally been our weekend because we usually get together the second weekend of every month, and this weekend was like rain, and because of going to the concert, I switched it to next weekend. So it's about time to get a nice weather weekend. Well, the last time we got together, we had a good weather weekend, but we have had a lot of rain on a lot of weekends. So yeah, yeah, it's been interesting. All right. And so I gotta tell you. So oh no, that doesn't matter. Anyway, okay, let's get into the topic. Let's get into where do we go from here? My thoughts on this. Okay, I believe that there is an attempt, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, to keep us in a constant state of fear, to keep us terrified, scared to death all the time, afraid to do this, afraid to do that, afraid to do anything because of what may or may not be happening or what could be going on. And so you see a lot of that perpetuated with the media. This is the greatest, latest thing we got to be afraid of. How many of you remember? And not that long ago, realistically, this what 70s, 80s, the ozone layer. Oh my God, there's a big hole in the ozone layer, and we have to, it's going to get bigger and it's going to get worse. So they stopped with a lot of the aerosol cans because they said that that was contributing to the hole in the ozone layer, right? If you listened to ran for president, didn't win. I'm trying to remember with the Chads. Remember the Chads in Florida? Who ran against Bush that year? He's a big environmentalist guy now. Al Gore, thank you so much. So you guys are awesome. It's like if I can't think of something, you guys just tell me right away. Okay. So Al Gore was saying, oh, by this point, the ice caps were going to be melted. Remember, we're going to be under all kinds of water, all those type of things. Did that happen? No. Okay. If so, the elites a lot of times have a lot of insider information, right? We all they know the know and they know the who and all that type of stuff. So just an observation point on this part. They're still selling beachfront property, and rich people are still buying beachfront property. If all that beachfront property, because I did see an article talking about that there would be hundreds of thousands of homes underwater, along the coastline because of all the rising temperature and the melting polar ice and the ice caps and blah blah blah, right? Okay, so but they're still selling beachfront property, and rich people are still buying beachfront property. If they knew that the ice caps were melting and that there was going to be an issue, uh, they wouldn't do it. Would you buy an island out in the ocean if you knew that there was going to be this great rise of water and your island probably wouldn't be there anymore? You wouldn't do that, would you? I mean, I wouldn't if I was ridiculously rich. It's stuff like that. If you connect the dots and you pay attention, a lot of it is done, in my opinion, to keep us, the rest of us, scared, to keep us intimidated, to usher in policies that they want to put in. And it's amazing how most of these policies that they put in dip into our pocket, not the elitist pocket, not the rich folks' pocket. It dips into our pocket. And we're the ones that have to do the control and the sacrifice and all those type of things, or pay the carbon tax, right? I love that one. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. But it happens. Okay. There's something that I wanted to mention while I was thinking about this really, really quickly from my video that I did earlier today. And it just, people are amazing. It's amazing to me. There's two things that amaze me. Okay. Two things really, truly amaze me. And we're going to get into that really quickly. So I talked about a lot of the polio outbreak in New York, right? And I talked about a lot of because of the southern border and how you have all these immigrants coming up from the southern border, spreading out over the United States, and so they're bringing their diseases with them. So I got told a couple things. Number one, I got told, "Oh, that's a Republican talking point." Well, if it happens to be the truth, okay, the truth is the truth. It's not a Democrat or Republican talking point. It's a fact. The people say, well, when they come across the border, they have to be fully vaccinated, right? They have to be fully vaccinated before they can come into the country. Well, wait a minute. And I'm not a rocket scientist. Remember that, okay? I'm just a guy on YouTube talking. Aren't there thousands upon thousands of people coming across the border every day who don't get caught, who don't, who come into the country illegally, right? Are they getting vaccinated? Do they have to show their immunization card? No, because they're doing it illegally, right? And then the other thing was that people were saying, and this I really, really don't get. I really don't get this. The hatred for the Jews. Okay. Oh, it's the Hasidic Jews. None of them get vaccinated. These were the comments. None of them get vaccinated. So that's where the polio outbreak is happening, is because of them. Well, maybe they don't. And I don't know because I'm not around a huge Hasidic Jewish population. So that could be a factor, yes. But the other factor also would partake in it. The Hasidic Jewish community is not such a huge community that it would have an effect like it's been the what they are saying is happening. Okay, so when you have thousands upon thousands of people every day coming into this country illegally that are not showing any kind of proof of anything because they're sneaking into this country, they would have a larger effect on what's going on disease wise than the Jews. That's just my point. So people can think whatever they want to think, and that's fine. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, but I try to look at factual information before I try to blame a group of people. Okay, so it's them. It's them. It's always their fault. I don't get it. I really don't get it. So, but anyway, I digress. Going back to the topic now. Yeah, why is there polio in the water? That doesn't make sense either. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Exactly. I agree with you on that one too. I'm like, that's interesting. Unless it was put there. Unless it was put there, Jen. You never know. So, with keeping us in a constant state of fear, right? We're easier to control if we're afraid all the time. If we have this boogeyman and that boogeyman to keep us afraid, it's easier for them to dictate what we can, what we cannot do. We're looking. Now, I shouldn't say all of us because a lot of us go, yeah, no. Okay. But a lot of the masses are looking for someone to tell them what they need to do and how they need to live their lives and should they go anywhere, should they do this. I'm going to tell you what, and it's funny, and I find this interesting. When people talk about preppers and how we're living in fear, right? We're living in fear. Preppers they're afraid of everything. I'm hiding out in my mountains, living in a shack, waiting for the end of the world to happen, right? I've heard that one too. Okay. Well, I still freely travel where I want to go. I still go on trips. I still go on vacation. I still go see different parts of the country. Or we're selfish hoarders. Yes, of course. That's right. I forgot about that one. How could I forget about that, Blue Star? Thank you for bringing that up too. Yeah, like we're making such a dent that other people can't get things. It's amazing. So, but anyway, it amazes me that okay, preppers are thinking of we're getting ready for whatever's going to happen. That's what we do. That's what we do realistically. We hedge our bets. It's like okay, you play. Some of you may play the stock market. Okay, two things drive the stock market: fear and greed. That's what drives the stock market. With being a prepper, what drives a prepper is the unknown. The unknown of what could happen, what could possibly happen, getting ready for whatever big event, small event. Again, there's so many reasons to prep and to be ready, even on a small degree. It just makes more sense to me. Like I said, I grew up with Depression era. My grandparents were Depression era babies, so they always had stocked up pantries. They always had a huge garden. Did a lot of canning, all that type of stuff. But when you have people that don't think of anything, that don't do anything, that go day to day to go grocery shopping for what they're going to eat that night for dinner, those people are not prepared. And so to me, that is a recipe for disaster, absolute recipe for disaster. I don't want to have to wait and rely on my government to save the day. I want to save my own day. I want to take care of my own business, And so when we talk about prepping and being prepared, it's not done on a fear-based stance. It's done on a practical stance. So we're like our own kind of stock market, if you will. We're hedging our bets. We're trying to make sure we can take care of our families. And, again, when I saw what happened with Hurricane Katrina in 2004, and the government's response to that and what those poor people down in Louisiana went through. Okay. And there was a lot of things that we all did not see on the news. We were shown what they wanted us to see. But you cannot hide a very poor response by government officials to a devastating situation. Once again, where you live is going to be a big factor in what type of situations you're going to have to deal with. That's a fact. If you live on the coast, and if you're in Louisiana, Texas, Florida, Georgia, those are areas that are going to possibly have hurricanes come in every year, maybe not for years, but that those things are going to happen. They're going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Uh, you know, I live far enough inland in both of my homesteads that those are not issues that I worry about. I don't worry about hurricanes because by the time they get to me, I might get a big old rain event, but it's not. We're not going to be flooded. And the elevation that I have on both of my properties, I don't have to worry about that either. And I've done that strategically, planning ahead, thinking ahead. What is the best place to be? What elevation do I want to be at? I would rather own the high ground. If I own the high ground's easier to defend as well. So there's a lot of factors that go into that. But again, where do we go from here? Again, this is all tying into this. So I'm not just like rambling. I don't want you to think I'm just rambling, but this is all, it all ties in. Every thought process that I think about in those type of things, this is why I think this way. It's all planning. What do we need to do? How do we need to get ready? What are the steps that we should be taking? And you know, and again, and if you think you can rely on your government, there are plenty of examples out there that prove that we can't. And I don't want to be in that situation. I'm going to tell you what. You look at what happened when Angry Prepper went down with a lot of other folks and helped out when those tornadoes ripped through that one town. There was a lot of volunteers from around the country that went down there to help people, right? That wasn't the government. That was not the government. That was everyday average individuals that took time out of their lives to go help strangers. And I'm going to tell you what, that is one of the things that I can say about this country. Okay. It's one of the things I can say about this country where we will come together and we will help each other because that's what we do. Okay. We will help total strangers. And that's another aspect that I think that people don't get about preppers. All right. We have that kind of a mindset that we want to help other people. We're not just sitting here going, this is all my stuff and this is mine and you can't have any of it. That's not why we prep. We prep to take care of our families. Absolutely. We prep to take care of our group members. Absolutely. Um, but we also, if we can, we will help others. Now that's not always the case. Everybody always can't do that, and I get it. Okay, but we are a very resilient group of people, and when I think that our government or anybody else underestimates us, I think that's a huge mistake that they are making because there's a lot of very resilient people, and whatever you throw at us, we're going to come out swinging, and that's what we do. That's our that's our mentality. We have that don't quit type of attitude in this country. Now, there's a lot of people that do have it. There's a lot of people that do have it, and I think that you know if you're raising your children up to be spoiled and entitled individuals, guess what kind of adults are going to be? They're going to be spoiled, entitled adults. When you raise your children to have a work ethic, when your children had to have chores that they had to do, when you stress the importance of thinking for yourself, you're going to raise people that are going to be critical thinking people that can start a fire, that know what they need to do, that know how to handle themselves, and all those type of things. Excuse me. And I think that that's really important. I think that's really, really important. So for those, and I'm going to tell you what, I think as parents, a lot of us, we want better for our kids. So we want to indulge them. We want to spoil them. We want to help them out. And I'm going to tell you what, for my kids, I don't care if my kids are 50 years old and they come to me and they need my help, they're going to get my help. There's never going to be a point where unless they're like a raging drug addict. Okay, that then they're on their own. But other than that, if they're legitimately trying and they need some help, doesn't matter to me. I don't care how old they are. I'm going to help them. If I'm in a position where I can do that, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I think that that's important. As parents, these kids did not ask to be brought into this world. They did not. They didn't say, "Hey, I can't wait to be here and be part of this." Never did. Um, but it's our responsibility as parents to try to teach them the right way. If you don't give somebody the tools to succeed, okay, I'm going to give you an example. You're going to go work, and this is one of the places that I worked. I worked in shipping and receiving at a tag and label country or company way back, way back. Okay, and so they had the tool and die machine. So people worked on the machines. They were making tags and labels. So if I hire you to work for my tag and label company, and I say, okay, there's a machine, go to work, you're going to be like, what am I doing? What am I going to do? But if I take you and I say, hey, this is John. John is going to teach you how to run this machine, and he's going to work with you for the next week. If you have any questions, ask John, all those type of things, right? So if you give people the proper tools to succeed, they're going to succeed better. And I think that's what we all need to do with our children as well. We need to give them the tools in which they can succeed. So I think that that's an important aspect of this as well. So, but moving forward, what should we be doing now again, right? Where should we be going? The biggest thing is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid because that comes from a real bad spot. You don't want to be afraid. You want to focus on what you can control. What can I do to control my environment right now? And that's important. That's really important. So as soon as you realize, okay, I can control this, this, and this, and this. These are environmental things that I have control over that I can keep doing. Moving forward, taking care of your business, making your lists, checking things off your list. Like I don't at the beginning of each year say, okay, this is what I'm going to do this year. I don't do that. What I try to do is I go, okay, what are my plans that I would like to get accomplished this year? And as long as I am making an effort to make those things happen, then it's a positive thing. Uh, an example, right? Getting the solar system set up in West Virginia. That was high on my list. I had bought the components for that uh, 6 months before I went down to West Virginia and put them together. We put it together down there. Brian, my electrician, came down. We banged it out. We got the stuff that we needed to get, but it came together. So we got that done. We had to build the battery room along the same time while we were doing that. So, those were things that we had to get squared away. We had to get done, and we did. So to me, that's a win. That's a huge accomplishment. After that point, I have not run a generator in West Virginia at all, at all. So it's oh, so I was going to mention this too. I wanted you to think about this one. So credit cards are now going to be tracking your purchases for the government. Okay, uh, gun purchases and ammo purchases. So my advice to people: if you can get things, go to a gun store, go to a gun show, however you're going to do it, and pay cash. That would be probably the smartest thing that you could do. You have to remember something, okay? And this is important. This really is important too. When you go to the grocery store and you have your loyalty card, right? We all got them. I got them. I got one for Tops. I have one for Wegmans. And you go to that grocery store and you buy the different things. And also, do you have your loyalty card? Because you can save money, right? That's why we do it. Oh yes, I'm going to save my money. I'm going to swipe that card, save the money. They're tracking everything that you're buying. Now, like Wegmans and Tops is not doing it to see, oh look at they're really stocking up on rice. That's not why they're doing it, so that they can push towards you things that you like to buy and stuff like that. Oh, here we go. There's Heather with Miss Stella.
Hello.
I got a black shirt on today too, so I'm not going to take her. They can see your eyes.
Hey, Max.
Here, I'll hold Max.
I'm coming in just for a second because I'm going to go over and hang out with Becky for a little bit.
Oh, she came back?
Yep, she's back.
All right. And I'll have Max. You can definitely see Max against a black shirt.
You can see my little girl's tail.
Well, her eyes are right there too. You can see her eyes.
She doesn't like being the bright light. She doesn't like that. But I just wanted to come in and say hello real quick.
All right.
Hello, Max. Okay.
All right. All right. I'm going to put Max up here so we can keep going.
Okay, hello.
All right. So, and of course, Missy Miss here is very jealous. I know. I'm sorry. Kitties and Heather came. Miss Hella is very jealous. She likes me all for herself. All right. So, where was I? I do not remember. But what was I talking about here, guys? You guys put me back on track, please. Oh, the credit cards. Okay, thank you. I know it happens. It's bad. But anyway, they track everything that you're purchasing, so they can target you with ads or whatever and stuff like that. But the government wants to know where you're spending your money as well. And so that's why, like with credit card purchases, online purchases, if you don't think, and I'm not saying that this is definitely a thing that's happening, but it would not, I'll put it like this would not shock me. This would not shock me. If there was a database someplace with your purchases that they could say, what are red flags? What are the purchases that would be red flags? Let's see, what would be purchases that you make that they might consider a red flag? Body armor, large quantities of ammunition, large quantities of food, that you're getting freeze dried food and all that type of stuff. Those might be red flags for some of these government agencies, right? Uh, you're continuing to buy bulk toilet paper. Yeah, right, exactly. But you're making these large purchases in large quantities of stuff in for fuel. Yep, exactly, and all those type of things. So you have to realize there are definitely lists out there. There are people that are on those lists. I know because I put myself out here on YouTube. I am definitely on list. The sad thing for them, if I am on their list, I'm not looking to overthrow any government. I'm not looking to control everything. I'm not looking to do any of that type of stuff. I'm not trying to be a militia or any of that type of stuff. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm trying to live my life, trying to take care of the people that I care about and I love, and that's it. That's it. And when the time comes, me, my family, my group, we will do what we need to do to keep us safe. Period. Period. And so that's what it's about. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, now I know there are all kinds of groups out there, militia groups that think that they're going to be the next John Rambo. Yeah, purchasing cocaine in large quantities online. Yeah, it probably would be bad. But it just it amazes me. It really really amazes me the way that things are done. And they're, like I said, they're keeping an eye on things. It's what they do. So what do you got? 619 in the chat, guys. We're at 274 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. And it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. Also, if you are not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell icon. Also, share these live streams if you find them interesting. If you're getting some information out of them that's going to help you, and if you want to share that, that'd be great too, and I appreciate that. All right, so we need to stay focused. Now, I know that me telling people to stay focused, it's a pot calling the kettle black, right? But I have things that I prioritize that are important, and I'm focused on those, and I will always be focused on those. We need to take care of our business. We need to take care of the people that we care about, putting ourselves in the best our possible position for success, no matter what happens. Notice how I say that. Notice how I say it. So let's say nothing ever happens. Oh my God, nothing's ever happened. and you've done all this work and you spent this money and you've done this and you've done that. Yeah, but I will be free. I will be as independent as I possibly can. I'm going to tell you what, for all of you, and and and, and I'm gonna quantify this, okay? For all of you that over the years have told me how stupid I was to have my own solar system and do that. Oh, and it's so expensive, and you're never going to recoup your cost and all those type of things, right? For all those people that have said that, while your bills continue month after month, year after year to go up and up and up, mine don't. Mine doesn't. It was a one-time cost. I put it out there, bit the bullet, pay once, cry once, right? I'm not crying every month because I'm not getting a monthly bill that says, now you owe us this much because here's our weird math that is determined, right? Determined that this is what you have to now pay us. And if you don't pay us, we'll shut you off. Well, nobody can shut me off. They can't shut me off because I'm independent. I have my own solar system. I take care of my own business. And I don't get a monthly bill. And that to me is freedom. That's freedom. So nothing ever happens 10 years from now. I can guarantee two things. Two things. 10 years from now, I will still not be getting a bill. I will still have my independent solar system. I may add to it down the road, most likely will. But I will guarantee you this, your bill in 10 years for your gas and electric that you are paying for is not going to be what you paid for now. It's going to be exponentially higher. So to me, it is hedging your bets, planning ahead, looking ahead. At some point in my life, I do plan on, being where, you know, maybe not having an income coming in anymore other than Social Security. A lot of people, that's what happens. And so, what happens with a lot of people that end up with just Social Security? They didn't plan ahead, they weren't prepared, they weren't ready. So, they don't have any backups, they don't have, things ready that way. So now they're just living on the Social Security. And so they end up in, places that they don't want to be, with people that they don't want to be with. I want to be in my woods as long as I possibly can and as free as I possibly can be for as long as I can. So if it gets to a point where I would just be trying to survive on Social Security, that it's not going to be like, oh my God, how am I paying my gas and electric bill? Because there's not going to be one. Where am I going to get food? I'm going to have plenty of food because I will have greenhouses and I will have fruit trees and I will have animals on my property that I can butcher myself and feed myself and all those type of things. You look what happened this year with meat prices. Well, if you're raising animals yourself, bacon. Look at the price of bacon. What bacon did. But bacon went crazy, right? You know, oh my God, my yearly gas bill is 2 grand. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. So, you know, but these are, so if nothing ever happens, I'm in a good place. I'm okay with that. I am absolutely okay with that. But do I believe something is going to happen? I absolutely do. I don't make predictions. I don't say when it's going to happen. I just believe that it's a matter of time, that we're working towards that, and they're working towards that as well. So the more free I can be, the more ready I can be for when that event happens and they drop the hammer, so to speak. It's not going to be as a big of effect on me, and that's or the people that I care about. All right. So that's my thought on that. And that's why I do what I do. I've never been real big conformist. It's just not who I am. Excuse me. That's better. But if I see, here's the other thought process with this. If I'm raising my own pigs, which I do plan on doing down at the homestead, get them in the spring, raise them up all year, butcher them in the fall. That's a lot of meat. Ham, bacon, pork chops, all that type of stuff. That's a lot of meat. Okay. And I know how it was raised. I know how it's going to be butchered. I know how it is prepared. And those are things to me that are also important. It's not going to be fully injected with a bunch of hormones to make it get bigger and stronger and eat more and all those type of things. I want to have food that I can reliably know where it came from. And I think that that's important. So if we can do that, why would you not? I mean, I'm going to tell you what. If any of you have ever had, if any of you have ever had eggs from somebody that had an egg stand, or they're raising chickens and you've had those type of eggs, and then you go back and you eat store bought eggs, there is a huge difference in taste, texture, color, the whole 9 yards. To me, I'll never buy store bought eggs again. I don't want store bought eggs. I want eggs that I went out to the chicken coop that I got, and that's what I want to use. So, but Richard Ruckman, Ed, I pay $170 budget now. They sent me a $700 bill. I don't understand this. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And if you're on a budget, how are they sending you a $700 bill? Yeah, that makes no sense. Makes no sense. So yeah, it's just like I said, folks. If you can do it, put yourselves in positions that's going to benefit you, not benefit the government, not benefit big business. Because at the end of the day, big business is not ever going to look out for you, just like the government is not ever going to look out for you. I love when I hear. I love when I hear. Well, let's hope we have a big red wave this election cycle, and we get control of the House and the Senate back, right? Get the Republicans back in charge. And I said, so I just heard that today, and I said when I heard that today, I said, you don't get it, do you? And they're, what do you mean? I said, they're two sides of the same coin. They're two feathers of the same bird, two wings of the same bird. It doesn't matter who is in control. They're going to screw us, the average citizen. And it blows me away that more people don't get that. Look at the history of it, folks. It's there. It's in black and white. The history's there. These are the bad guys. No, these are the bad guys. Who was it? That idiot that did that Kathy Griffin just came out with a tweet. If you don't want civil war, vote, Democrat this fall. But if you want civil war, then go ahead and vote Republican. Something to that effect. Who is she? She's a freaking has-been comedian, uh, you know, that did something, right? Remember when she was like holding up the fake um, head of Trump, and that's okay, right? Insanity, insanity. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of divide in this country. There is strong opinions on that, and I get it. Okay, but at the end of the day, if you think any politician, don't matter if they're Democrat, Republican, Independent, okay, doesn't matter. If you think they're looking out for you, they're not looking out for you. They're looking out for themselves. They want to get reelected. They want to stay in office. Um, Yeah, that does sound like a threat, doesn't it, Okie Forge? I know. Um, they want to stay in office as long as they can because the special interest groups that got them elected are going to keep lining their pockets. All right? It's going to continue to happen. It's not going to change. The rich friends that they have, they're going to give them insider information. I mean, they've talked about that, haven't they? A lot about the different stock stuff. Like all of a sudden, Nancy Pelosi's husband buys a certain stock, right? Because that's a stock that's got something. All of a sudden, then it's announced a little bit later that we're going to do this, and that stock goes up. That's called insider information, right? That's what it is. And then eventually they sold that stock because they didn't want to look bad. Well, that happens. That type of stuff happens constantly. How do you think these people go in there, and when they come out, they're millionaires? I want you guys to do something, a little research for you. And you can look it up right now. I can't do it, obviously, because I'm talking to you guys. Barack Obama's net worth when he took office. And what is Barack Obama's net worth now? So I would like you guys, somebody, to go in here and look at that and tell me what his net worth was before and what his net worth is now. I'd be really curious because I have an idea of what it is, but you don't gain that kind of wealth for nothing. Okay, so all of them are not looking out for us. So that's you know, that's the way I look at it. All right, so I'm actually somebody's got to put it up here. Angela, I'll look it up for a $5 fee. That's too funny. JJ said 70 million now. I thought it was close. I thought it was closer to 80. I thought it was closer to 80. So, but anyway, trying to stay on track tonight. It is egg count time. So, uh, how many eggs today? And yes or no did thick neck lay? And somebody tell me what did he start out with? And if somebody could look that up. They're worth 70 million now. Okay. Can somebody look up what they were worth when he went into office? Because I know what they're $400,000 a year. How do you end up becoming worth $70 million? All right, just give you another minute for your guesses, and then we will go for there. 64,000 before he became president. Isn't that interesting how that works? Very interesting. Okay, if you had the same exact guess as Jen Boyles with 6 eggs and no thick neck today. Yeah, only 400 is reported income. Yeah, right. Um, that's where we were today. So congratulations, Jen. You have the right guess today. And that is where we are. See, so anybody that watched yesterday's video knew that we had 8 eggs yesterday and that thick neck did lay yesterday. So I'm sure Jen was one of those ones paying attention. And that's why she said no thick neck today. But yeah, it was just the whole day was rainy and crappy and not very pleasant. Not very pleasant. All right, what do we? Somebody's got to give. Oh, hold on a second. I'll just do it this way real quick. I got to see real quick, guys. So hold on. 3-3 in the first quarter. All right, had to look real quick. Had to see what my Cowboys were doing. Moving forward, what should you all be doing? Again, we've been talking about this whole stream. I've been talking about different aspects of this, but the reality is, again, going back to what I said earlier, control what you can control. You can control how much food you have on hand. You can control how much fuel you keep on hand. You can control how many weapons that you have, how much ammo that you have, other supplies that you need, medical supplies, all those things. Anything that you think that you may need, down the road, ropes, pulleys, nails, screws, all those type of things. You can control that. You can have these things available. You can have these things ready for whatever may happen. And yeah, Martha Stewart went to prison for insider trading. How come she's the only one that I've ever realistically heard of that went to prison for that? So I find that interesting. But anyway, you can control what you can do to put yourself in a better situation when the time comes. To me, yeah, she was a scapegoat, exactly. To me, it is a matter of trying to keep things as normal as I possibly can. That's always been my mindset. Always been my mindset. So SHTF happens, I want to still be able to have power as long as we're not looking at an EMP. Obviously, if we're looking at an EMP, That's a different situation, but I'm ready for that too. You know what I mean? Kerosene lanterns, all those type of stuff. You know, yeah, books are huge. Absolutely, Lori Goldsmith. Uh, there is a tremendous amount of books out there with a lot of good information. And I think if we can get those books and have them readily available to us, that can make a huge difference of how we do moving forward. I- Information and knowledge equals power, especially in an SHTF event. Huge advantage it's going to give you to be able to have those things and to be able to utilize those things and know what to do. And the other thing that I would highly recommend for people as well now, while things are normal, if you will, right? Knowledge, practical practice, doing things on a regular basis that you would use in a survival situation, building a shelter, right? If you're out in the woods, learn how to build those shelters and do it for fun. Take your kids, take a day of it, make it an adventure. Let's make a fort, right? Kids love making forts. So if if you can keep things fun and enjoyable but still teaching bushcraft skills, exactly, Angela Fleming, uh, teaching skills like that, that's huge. Teach them how to start a fire. Now, you want to use a bow drill and those type of stuff, that's great, and I think that that's not a bad thing. Me, I'm going to stock up big time on flint. I'm going to stock up on disposable lighters, matches, all those type of things. I'm going to have a bunch of those because I don't want to have to worry about being able to start a fire, in that type of situation. So preparation, it's just putting yourself in the best possible circumstance to survive whatever's going to happen. And I think that's what we should all be striving for right now. Putting ourselves in. Amazon has 100 lighters for like 10 or 12 bucks. Yeah, and but again, you get what you pay for, Bonnie. I like the Bics. Bic is going to be a higher quality lighter. They're going to be more reliable, and so that's another thing you got to think of as well when you're doing these different things. Do I buy cheap or do I buy quality? And it's just like an example would be if you are a chainsaw guy. Everybody that does chainsaws know that there are two top of the line chainsaws. It's Steel and Husqvarna. Those are the top of the line chainsaws. Most reliable, great product. They both work. And it's like, I'm a Husqvarna guy. I like Husqvarna. Some people like Steel better, and that's fine. You can't go wrong with those two. But if you buy a cheap chainsaw, that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get a cheap chainsaw, and it's not going to be as reliable. It's not going to last as long. And so I think that that is really important. I buy refillable and a can of lighter fluid plus extra flint. That's actually very smart. And Anna Lockie just said that. Very smart. And that's another great way to do it. Buy extra flints, have it where you got the fuel, and you just refill the lighter. My grandfather always had a lighter like that. That's how he did his. Well, he had a pipe, and so he smoked his pipe, so he had to have his lighter for all that and stuff like that. But very smart, very smart. But again, you're going to get what you pay for when it comes to products. So if you want to go cheap, but the biggest thing is get out there and use them. Oh, I have camping gear, and I have a tent, and I have this, and I have that. Well, when was the last time you were out in that tent? Out in inclement weather, and what did you have to do to did you have an extra tarp that you put over that tent? You know what I mean? These are things that you better figure out now. You don't want to figure things out. I'm telling you, this is probably like the biggest thing of advice that I can give you. The time to try to figure things out is not when it's life or death. That is not the time, because if you fail then, you die. Okay? If you've got it figured out now where it's not life and death, you can still pack up the tent, put it back in the truck or car, and go home and go, oh, what a horrible experience we had. That was terrible. And we screwed this up and we screwed this up and we screwed this up. But that's a good thing because it teaches you what you did wrong, what you need to do different the next time, and you prepare that way. So practical practice is a huge component of prepping, using your components. Again, I've talked to you guys about this just even when it comes to solar. I started out, okay, if you go back to the early videos, I started out with Harbor Freight solar panels. I started out with the 45-watt kits. I had marine deep cycle batteries. That's how I started out with a 12-volt system. You figure out really quickly, wants and needs. It always comes down at the end of the day to wants and needs. When we got here and I bought my first couple of solar panels for here, I bought 250-watt panels. I believe I had I started out with only three, I believe. I have to go back and look, but I believe I started out with three. So I had 750 watts of solar. I had marine deep cycle batteries. I had a 12-volt system. Well, you figure out really quickly that ain't going to cut it. So the next year, I had asked the kids. We got through that first winter here at the homestead. We got through that first winter on a 12-volt system. And so I said to the kids, what do you want now to make our lives better, to make our lives more normal? What do you want? And it was a unanimous more power. So I went out and I bought another 750 watts of solar that second year. I went from those marine deep cycle batteries to the Trojans that I have, the L16E lead acid batteries. I went to those, and we doubled our solar production. We got better batteries, and things were better. Now we still weren't running 24 hours a day at that point. We would shut down every night. So every night we kill the power. You go to sleep. You're not opening and closing the fridge or the freezer, so they stay pretty good. You can go ahead and do that for 8 or 10 hours, and that's fine, and they're going to be okay. Uh, what happened after that was when I did the next upgrade, I went from the 12-volt system to a 24-volt system, and it's that progression. And now, like in West Virginia, I did not screw around. I went straight to a 48-volt system in West Virginia. I last time I up here I upgraded the batteries to the lithium ion, and that was when we were finally able to run 24 hours a day. When we went to the lithium ion batteries, that's when I was able to run 24 hours a day. Now, do we still have to use on a cloudy day? Do we still have to use the backup generator? Yep, we sure do. Now, but here's the thing. So SHTF happens. What happens in SHTF? You've used all your gas. You have no more gas. You're relying on your system for whatever you're going to do. So you're going to basically go down to the bare minimum. You're not going to be having lights on all the time. You're not going to be up all night. When it gets dark, you're probably going to go to bed because you're going to be up early and you have stuff to do. You're going to be busy. So we're not going to be sitting in our houses. So, you know, preparing and getting those things ready and putting yourself in the best possible situation for success is really, really, really important. And so that's what I want to continue to encourage all of you to put yourselves in positions to succeed, to be ready. If it's an emergency for a 2 week emergency, the power's out, there's been a huge storm that happened and the lines are down, it's going to take them weeks to get things squared away, right? Yeah, Troy Reed is still using my old ones. Yeah, Fred Nolan. I actually did see that he still had those, and he bought those from me. Let's see, how many years ago was that? Probably six. Probably 6 years ago. I think he bought those batteries from me. You know. Yeah, wood stove. If you are in an area that gets cold at all, any kind of cold, having a wood stove is huge. Huge. Can make a difference of you making it or not. Just even for cooking, melting snow to get water. You know what I mean? All those things. That's all part of it. Um, there's a lot to it. I'm not going to lie. There is a lot to it. But the other thing that I would encourage you, if you can do it, live on your retreat. Wherever your bug out location is, if you can live on that bug out location, I would absolutely encourage you to do so. I think that's hugely important as well. Because if you're at your bug out location, You're there. If electricities are bad now, what will happen this coming winter? Yeah, well, that's something to think about too. That is something to think about as well. So, we have a wood stove getting more wood tomorrow. I already have 10 cords, getting another five, 125 a cord here in northern Ontario, Canada. Good. That's awesome. Yep. Yeah, I did see Ryan Hall's snow forecast. I actually watched that today. I did watch that. So, and it's not looking bad for West Virginia. I can tell you that. Actually, it's not looking bad for up here either. So, but it's just be as ready as you can. If you don't do anything else, just do that. Give yourself that advantage. While people are running around, and here's the other part I want you to think about. We're going to do shout outs here in just a minute, but I want to make this point. While other people are running around like chickens with their head cut off, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, how to take care of things, if you are already prepared, you know exactly what you're going to do. If you're bugging in, you're bugging out, whatever the case may be. Power outage, it's a power outage for who knows how long because of weather or whatever the case may be. You can still be pretty comfortable. You may not be able to get online, but you might still be able to charge up your phones and all those type of things. Um, you know, Sonia Klein says my electric bill hasn't gone over $100 all summer. Well, a lot of people's have gone up a whole lot more than that, Sonia, and that's good. You're very fortunate, very fortunate. So, but all right, so let's do some shout outs real quick. So we're gonna start out with Icky Can up in Canada. Definitely give him some support if you would. I would appreciate that. He's a good dude, living off grid up there, and he's taking care of his business. So you have Angry Prepper down in New York City with Jason. Good dude. He's actually going to be supposedly said he was coming this next week to my get together that I'm having for my members down in West Virginia. So I'm looking forward to seeing him as well. Also, we have Alaska Prepper with Rudy, another good guy. And Jason is live in a few minutes. Well, Bonnie, make sure you ask him. Say, you going to Prepper Nurse Ones next weekend? Let me know what he says because I actually got to give him a call. I haven't called him again yet. I will definitely do that over the next couple of days. But anyway, so you have Alaska Granny. There is Bjorn Hansen. You have Corporal's Corner. Doug and Stacy is another really good channel. Bizarrizza Jizza. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. You have Russell Brand. I love Russell Brand. Some of you may not, but I think Russell Brand helps to make you think, and I think that is an important aspect of what we're trying to accomplish and do. Critical thinking, okay? Thinking for yourself, not just listening to the mainstream media tell you what to think. East Tennessee Preparedness. You have Pinball, which I love Pinball. I think he's great. You have Prepper Nation. There is, let's see, there is Wranglestar. You have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. You also have, hold on a second, uh, Magic Prepper in North Dakota. It was there, it was on the tip of my brain, but Southern Prepper 1, Green Greg's. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have Deep South Homestead. There is the Green Dream Project down in Arizona. Also, there is going to be oh god, the Nomadic Movement down in Panama, and actually they're just left, I believe, down there, and we're coming up north to back to the states for a couple months. They're setting up their coffee stuff up here, and so they're planning on being up here for a few months. So they're fun to watch. So the Needy Homesteader, really love her and what she's doing. For her to come back after the loss of her husband, I think is amazing. And so my hat's off to her, and I wish her all the best. You have let's see the Diamond from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Love Diamond. I think he's a great guy. Little House Off Gritty, Patera with the Appalachian Homestead, Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra. They're a really nice young couple as well up in Minnesota. You have Girl in the Woods and Bush Radical, husband and wife team, two different channels. Really like what they're doing. They split their time between Minnesota and Alaska, so I think that they're really cool as well, and I like what they're doing. But there, like I said, there's a lot of really good information out there. Joe from St. Bernard Acres is another channel, and he's doing his thing. The Outsider, I love The Outsider. That guy's had a lot of his own tragedies, lost his mom and his dad now. So My Self Reliance. There is Monkey Works. You have I'm trying to think who am I missing. I'm trying to remember in my on my own list. The Fit Farmer is another one, and I'll try to remember when I come back to New York next time to bring my list. So, Survival Lily is another one, another really good channel. You have Mary Greeley News, Steve Wallace with Camping with Steve. Obviously, we all know what Steve's going through right now, and like I said again, my thoughts are with him. Uh, so anyway, there is a lot of good channels out there, a lot of good information. I think that we should be supporting each other, and I think that that's important to do. I really do. You like the guessing game? Well, I did I say Sean James? I don't think I did say Sean James. My self reliance, yeah, it's my self reliance and the Sean James channel. I did say that one, but yeah, what he's doing is really really cool as well. North Shore Preparedness, Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands in Le Palma. Love him. I think he's a really cool dude as well. So he's back in La Palma. Yep, that's cool. So, but anyway, a lot of good channels, a lot of good information. It's good to look at different thoughts of what people are doing. So I think that that's important. And then my daughter Heather has her Etsy channel, and JJ just put Heather's Etsy channel up there. The link for that. She does jewelry. She also does crocheting. So she can definitely do things for you guys. If you have a request, you want something crocheted, she can do that. So just shoot her a message over there, and you're going to be good. All right. So what are we at? 482 in the chat. We're at 406. Let's say 450. Let's see if we can get it up past 450. I know that's kind of a stretch. We only got about 13 minutes left, but we're at 408. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that ahead of time. And I should make another list, yeah, and leave it up here. I probably should. That would be smart. No one ever accused me of that, though. Being smart. No. But anyway, so again, it really makes a big difference with the algorithm. So the more interactions that we have, the better. So I do appreciate it for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you again to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification for all. And please share if you like the videos. I appreciate that as well. So take a picture of the list. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, so found more bear scat at one of my squirrel spots 3 miles from the house. Yeah, well, I got them closer than that, EV3 Dale. I saw, like I said, a bear in the upper meadow. So that's real close, real close. So, but anyway, again, I just think that it's important that we continue to stay vigilant, stay on point. It's easy to get distracted. It's very, very easy to get discouraged and say, why am I wasting my time? Why, nothing's ever going to happen. Those are my favorite people, guys. They are my favorite people. Nothing is ever going to happen. Well, thank you. See her into the future. We appreciate that. But it's just what is actually on point? Who knows, right? But take care of what you can control. Again, this has been the theme of this whole thing. Control what you can control. There's a lot of distractions, a lot of things to keep you looking a different direction and not paying attention to what is going on. And I think that it is important that we stay focused on what we can do. Put yourself in the best possible position that you can to survive whatever may happen. And I think that is probably the biggest thing. And so if you do that, It's definitely going to put you in a much, much better situation. A much better situation. So we're already at 443 already. So we're going to hit that 450 easy. Can we hit 500? See, that would be a question. That would be we're at 470 in the chat. Can we hit 500? Because we're definitely hitting 450. There's no doubt about that. Just for fun, let's see if we can hit 500 before we jump off here, guys. So it's just a new goal because we hit this one. We're at 449 right now. Um, so let's see if we can hit 5 before we jump off. And now we're at 451. So all right. Um, Again, take care of your business. Look out for the ones that you love, because if you don't, who's going to? Really important point. If you can get yourself involved with a group that you can work with, that you like the people in that group, I highly, highly recommend that you do that as well. Find like minded people that you can get along with, that you're going to be okay with hanging out with them, and doing the different things that you need to do. Because when SHTF happens, if you are not in a group now and you survive any length of time, I can guarantee you this: at some point down that road, you will be in a group. So I would rather, in my opinion, pick the people that I want to be with now, so that I know that I can trust them, that they got my back, that I'm going to have their back. I don't want to be in a position where I have to join this group of marauding bandits because it's my best chance of surviving. I don't want to be in that position. I want to make sure that I have like-minded people that think the same way that I do now. That we are all looking to survive what's going to come, and that we're ready to deal with that situation. The worst case scenario, you join a group, right? Somebody's property, and you go to the property. However often that you go, you got a great place to go to hang out and camp if nothing ever happens, and you're around people that you want to be around. It's not like you're going to a park where you have this group of partiers over here and you got the old people over here that are complaining about the partiers over there, and everybody's pissing and moaning and complaining. I'd rather be around people that I want to be around, that I enjoy their company, that we enjoy being around each other. And I think that that's an important aspect of it. So the railroad strike is a very big concern. It looks like that is going to happen regardless if the government or a judge says you can't. I think the railroad workers are going anyway. That's my gut feeling on that one, and I don't blame them. Okay, they are not the ones that haven't done the right thing in this situation. They have worked for 2 years without a new contract, while management is taking advantage of that. The government is interceded and forced these people to stay working. There's a breaking point for everybody, folks, and I think that that is getting there. Um, you know, so that's just kind of my thought on that one. All right, so what we're going to do, we're at 465. We need 35 more thumbs up to hit 500. So again, real quick, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so. Let's hit 500, and then I'll stop. I promise. I really haven't been bad in this stream. I haven't been asking a whole lot, so it's just a game, and I want to see if we can hit 500 before we jump off here. So again, if you haven't shot one yet, do that, please. Also, again, make sure you hit that thumbs up, like, comment, share is always a good thing as well. And if you are not subscribed, once again, please subscribe, hit that bell icon to get all notifications. Okay, we are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. We are a huge network of people. Where is everybody from tonight? We got Franklin County, Ohio. Where is everybody else? BC, Canada, Nowhere, Oklahoma, Waterloo, New York, Arkansas, New Mexico, Kansas, Fort Worth, Texas, Inverness, Florida with Clyde, Bloomberg, Pennsylvania, uh, Dayton, Georgia, South Dakota, Pennsylvania once again, East Central Illinois, Greenlee County, Arizona, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, North Ontario, Canada, Savannah, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas. We have Central Iowa, Ulster Park, New York, Bumstead, Florida, Colorado, Central Missouri, Tucson, Arizona, Kansas, North Highlands of California, East Tennessee, in the Appalachian, York, Pennsylvania, Feeler, Idaho. I hope I said that right. Pennsylvania Wilds, Western New York, Lebanon, Pennsylvania, London, Ontario, Canada, Sarina, Ontario, Canada, Hollywood, Florida, Ocala, Florida, Southern Oregon, Hale, Michigan, the UP of Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, Westling, Pennsylvania, Texas, Gatlin, Pennsylvania, Union City, Pennsylvania, Southern Indiana, Canton, Ohio, Michigan. We have Southern Ohio, St. Augustine, Florida, Central Arizona, Nitro, West Virginia. We have Aaron, Tennessee is in the house. Yeah, a lot of Pennsylvania. Yeah, Central Illinois, Southern Oregon, Connecticut, Jacksonville, Florida. So again, we're just all over the place. West Virginia in the Panhandle, Ontario, Canada, Northeast Pennsylvania, Oregon is in the house, Missouri in the Ozarks, JJ Steeler Nation. Boo! Troutville, Virginia. Uh, so anyway, again, all over the place, guys. Absolutely all over the place, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing. So we're a huge family, a huge network of people. We are the ones that truly can make a difference now, and we will definitely be making a difference in a post event. No doubt about that in my mind. I believe truly with all my heart that a lot of us have been awakened for that sole purpose to be able to help others when the time is when it comes. And teach people basic skills that they don't have. And I'm going to tell you what, surround yourself with those old folks because those old folks got a lot of skills. They know a lot of knowledge that they grew up with. So those are important things too, and people need to remember that. You know, you might be young and strong, but the older people have knowledge that you didn't even think about. So, but definitely a very, very good thing to have. So, what are we at? 486. So we're 14 away, guys. 14 away from 500. So let's see if we can get that. Yeah, wisdom is priceless. It absolutely is. So for those of you that think, well, I'm old and I'm useless, no, I don't buy that. There's always things that you can contribute. Um, Working comms, being on the radio, sitting there. I know a lot of people, older people, have a hard time sleeping at night. So knowing what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and in doing that, I think that that's important too. What do you bring to the table? If you're bringing knowledge, you can teach and you can show people different things. You know what I mean? And I think that is important as well. It's hugely important, in my opinion. So we're 494. We need 6 more thumbs up, guys. We're gonna do it. You guys are gonna get it. You're gonna rock it out. We're gonna hit 500 before we jump off of here. 6-3 Tampa Bay. All right, thank you, Dust Devil. I appreciate that. So anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic, fantastic job keeping this chat clean. Very much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, it means the world to me. It really, truly does. That you sacrifice your time and to be here to do that. I also want to thank all of you for being here. It means a lot to me that you come, you support the channel, and we're gonna keep rocking this out. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and we're gonna be good. That's what we're going to do. So I'm not quitting, not giving up. I'm always going to, I want to continue to press on and get things done and share that with you and show you what we can do. There's a project that I'm working on in West Virginia that when I get to a certain point, I will be sharing it. All right. I'm trying to keep the location of that project under wraps so that nobody knows exactly where it is. And that's why with what I'm working on right now, you're not going to see it for a while yet, but you will see it. And it is going to be a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time, but that's okay. It's going to be well worth it in the long run. So anyway, so that is that. But you will see that as we get further down the road here. So, all right. Remember, guys. Oh, and we're 508, so we blew past 500. You guys are awesome. Remember, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we could ever figure that one out, we're going to be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us. They use race, religion, political affiliation, the vax, the unvax. I've never seen the country so divided as I do right now. And I blame a lot of that on the media that keeps pushing the narrative, keeps putting people at odds with each other. And I don't think that that is productive in any way, shape, or form. We have to stop letting them manipulate us. And that's exactly what they're doing. So if we can come together, work together, there's nothing we can't accomplish. Nobody needs to go to bed hungry. Nobody needs to have to worry about how am I going to pay this or pay that. If we actually came together and worked together, these a-holes that are pulling the strings, and it ain't the government, just remember that, they would have to come to the table if we said no more. Remember that as well, okay? Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. And last but not least, folks, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. If you work at it methodically, make a goal, and set about to making it happen, it will come together. And the only one that's going to stop you from reaching that goal is you. If you listen to those negative, cunning whispers trying to bring you down, that's what they want. They don't want you to succeed. They want you to quit. They want you to give up. Don't. If you set realistic goals, make it happen, then you set a new one. And it's amazing what gets done when you do that. It really is. All right. So, anyway, I will talk to you all later. I hope you have a great day. Prepper Nurse One, out for now.